If you think the IDF gunning down Israeli hostages holding a white flag was just an accident, think again. The IDF has a history of killing people that are surrendering because the IDF doesn't care whatsoever if you're surrendering or not, if you're a kid or not. You're a terrorist to the IDF as long as you're a Palestinian.
In December 2023, Israel admitted to the shooting and killing of 3 Israeli hostages in Palestine's Gaza. One of the hostages, who had been calling for help in Hebrew, was also waving a white flag, making the incident a violation of international law. Addressing
Yeah, though that just it's just pretty wild how the IDF is supposed to be going in to rescue these people, yet they just down the moment they saw them. And that's also due to the Hannibal Directive, where the IDF is allowed to kill hostages.
the mistake, Israeli military chief Herzi Halevi stated there was no malice in the event, and that the soldiers carried out the right action to the best of their understanding. He also
Well, the right action to the best of their understanding. So they see Israeli hostages, white flags. So the best of their ability was to murder them.
added that even if the soldiers had been 2 Palestinians holding white flags and wanting to surrender, the Israeli soldiers should not shoot them, as this is not the Israeli military. But is it really?
Is it? But is it really not? Yeah, that is the IDF. Why would the head of the military have to come out and tell his military not to shoot people waving white flags if that is not something they commonly do?
Not. First of all, since October 7, 2023, Israel has killed over 22,000 Palestinians, mostly women and children, in its brutal military campaign in Gaza. And this
So somehow killing 22,000 people, mostly women and children, is somehow the Israeli government fighting against Hamas. Why is there 22,000 innocent civilians dead and instead of 22,000 Hamas agents dead?
is not the first time Israeli forces have targeted civilians holding white flags. About a month before the incident, on November 17, a video emerged of a Palestinian father crying, holding a white flag next to the body of his son, who had been shot dead by Israeli soldiers. The footage went viral and was even aired on CNN, although it did not make as many headlines as in the killing of the Israeli hostages a month later. And on December 23, about a week after the Israeli hostages were killed, Al Jazeera Arabic reported that Israeli forces had shot 4 pregnant women holding white flags and ran over their bodies with bulldozers as they were trying to reach Gaza Lavda Hospital.
Wow, that is disgusting. They killed pregnant women and then ran over their bodies with a bull. And the Israeli government is supposed to be the good guys here that aren't targeting civilians, yet that is all that we see.
Now let's rewind 14 years back to 2009, when Human Rights Watch released a report documenting 7 instances between 2008 and 2009 in which Israeli forces unlawfully shot and killed 11 Palestinian civilians who were carrying white flags. The Israeli practice of shooting people holding white flags goes even further back to the Nakba, or the catastrophe, in 1948, when Zionist militias violently expelled over 700,000 Palestinians from their homes and lands.
And people want to try to claim that Palestinians weren't expelled or killed to make room for the Israeli government. It is wild how so many people want to deny history in order to fit the narrative for the Israeli government.
They annihilated with a machine gun 35 Arabs who had surrendered to that company with a white flag in their hands. This is from a meeting in 1948 regarding the atrocities committed earlier that year in the Palestinian village of Miron by the Irgun militia, a Zionist paramilitary organization. These lines were part of the
And we got to remember, Zionism is just a supremacist movement, nothing more, nothing less. It's just like Nazism, except for Jewish people.
The limited resources made available to the public following a special request in 2021. Israel normally keeps documents related to the Nakba locked away in archives. Critics maintain it does this due to concerns that the evidence they contain might damage Israel's image or lead to accusations of war crimes.
But everybody knows, what the Israeli government, well, not, I guess, to the full extent, but everybody knows that the Israeli government committed a genocide so they could make room for Israeli people.
Yet, despite Israel's efforts to conceal facts, recurring patterns in its practices persist to this day. Piling up is a long list of evidence that would not only undermine Israel's already faltering international credibility, but that also likely constitute war crimes.
Yeah, the Israeli government can't keep up their lies anymore. No matter how hard they push their lies, the world has seen through what they have been saying. Even Israeli citizens in Israel have seen through the lies of their government.
Israel continues to kill more and more civilians in Gaza.